It seems like every time I jump on LinkedIn or even look at the comments on my own channel, I'm seeing a lot of people say AI is taking over all the cybersecurity jobs. Everything's disappearing. It's all doom and gloom. AI is going to rule the world. But that's not the case. You have to remember that AI is really good at mundane autonomous tasks, right? It's really great at that. But what it's not good at is doing what analysts do. And this is where your hiring methodology really needs to come into play, right? Employers are not looking for tool operators anymore. If you thought, I'm going to jump into cybersecurity and I'm going to run Splunk, or I'm going to run Elk Stack, or I'm going to just run vulnerability scans anymore, that's not a job field anymore. They've gotten rid of all those positions because AI and scripting has done away with it. That doesn't mean that the jobs aren't there. They 100% are. But you have to remember what employers are looking for. They want to know how you're going to approach a situation. They want to know, can you solve X? Can you go through it? So this idea that you're going to jump into an interview and it's just going to be tool trivia, that's out the window. That disappeared, I want to say, about 5 or 10 years ago. So this isn't something new. It's been going this direction for quite a while. Automation has really been raising that floor, raising that basic level of knowledge that you need to have, because I can automate almost anything. But what I can't do is find somebody, or even an AI for that matter, to go through and be able to say, hey, that's a false positive, or, that's a false negative. I need people to be able to analyze. I need them to be able to investigate. I need them to take it a step farther than what AI is capable of. And that's where we're at today. So yes, the entry-level points that a lot of people foresee or foresaw in the past, those are gone. They're 100% gone. But that doesn't mean that the cybersecurity positions are gone. The minimum skill level has simply increased. It's simply gone up a little bit because a lot of people thought, oh, I'll go get a master's degree, or I'll get a bachelor's degree, I'll get a certificate, and I'll get hired. And that's just not the case anymore. But we're also starting to see the good that comes with this too, right? Anytime a new technology is kind of put into play and it interrupts the existing technology, which is what we're seeing with AI, we're seeing new faucets come into play. And one of those faucets is actually AI security. It's becoming a great field to jump into. There's prompt injection, there's data leakage, there's model abuse, there's Claude going in and deleting entire databases and the backups for those databases against what they're supposed to be doing. So a lot of that comes into play with people coming through. And if you understand AI, if you go through and get that knowledge, get that experience, you've got a great leverage point to kind of push your career into the next great system, right? Companies always need people. And I think that's the big caveat that you need to understand when it comes to cybersecurity, or any field for that matter. Yes, the low-hanging fruit jobs are disappearing. No, they're not completely 100% disappearing. We're just raising that floor up to a level where you need to get on board with understanding that AI is here to stay. It's not going away anytime soon. And how can you utilize that to position yourself for a better career? We're also seeing the other end of AI, right? We're seeing attackers come in and take place. They're able to push out attacks a lot quicker. Phishing emails are coming a lot quicker. We're seeing zero-day attacks a lot more than we've seen in the past. We're seeing that exploitability come a lot quicker. All of this kind of compels the industry to look at this from a different perspective. And while AI is great at understanding patterns, it's great at saying, hey, this is my baseline, and this goes against the baseline, so it could be potentially malicious. What it doesn't do a great job is investigating it. It doesn't do a great job of saying, okay, not only have I identified that as an attack, but we should shut it down, because it likes to shut everything down. It doesn't understand that this is a low-level attack that we don't need to shut down a production server that's literally doing $1 million per hour on. But if you, as a incident responder, can come in and say, okay, should we contain it? Should we isolate it? Let's coordinate. Let's make some real-time decisions when associated with that. That's where the human brain comes into play, and it far outdoes what AI is able to do. When it comes to human beings as well, is communication. AI is great at printing out reports, but how do you communicate that? How do you communicate that to non-technical stakeholders? A lot of that, yes, can be written by AI, but not without a little bit of extra points in there, right? Human beings are great at saying, okay, what's the TLDR? Give me the bullet point structure of it. AI loves to go on and on and on and on and talk about it, but it's not really good at saying, hey, these are the main prompts that I need to discuss. This is what the report's supposed to say. This is how it comes into play. And so those communication skills that you're learning that you can do as a human being, they're 100% on par. Do I foresee those communication skills, especially the written word coming out, being replaced by AI? Maybe, right? But when it comes to something like that, you also need to understand when we start talking about communication, when we start talking about reports, There's written, which AI is okay at, right? But there's also verbal reports. And AI, no matter how good it gets, no one wants to hear a machine talk to you about what's going on with the network. You need somebody that can explain it, that can skip ahead, that understands that human communication, that you're not listening to and then wants to argue with you, right? So communication, another clear guide path that you could explore as somebody that's exploring cybersecurity, even with AI coming into play. I think the big point of this, since we're on it, when we start talking about communication, is also GRC. GRC is heavily human run right now, okay? AI does a great job of going through and running a scan, and it can go through and pinpoint specific points where maybe you're not in compliance. But a lot of people want to know more about that. They want it checked. They want somebody that's professional, somebody that can understand not only what is the system doing, how do I correct it, and what's the cost associated with it, right? Now, we can ask AI a lot of great questions, but it's not correct a lot of times. And it doesn't do very well when it comes to a lot of that stuff, right? And speaking of human beings, when it doesn't do something very well, let's talk about social engineering. AI sucks when it comes to identifying social engineering. If you put 5 emails in front of AI to find out if it clicks worthy or not, 4 out of 5 times, if it doesn't have the root associated with it, if it's not pinpointed as already being a malicious website, it will go ahead and say it's safe. It'll say, oh yeah, that looks legitimate. Right? We've seen this time and time again. And so it comes not just from the phishing attacks, but also from the physical security aspect of it. Because I know somebody's going to argue with me and go, oh, Proofpoint does a really good job. Yeah, it does, if the attack from the phishing email isn't very well written, or if we already know that malicious site is coming. But when it comes to literally going through and diving into social engineering attacks and how they're being used for the long game, not the short game, the long game, AI sucks at it. I think one of the strongest things that AI has actually done for a lot of people, believe it or not, is we've almost removed that linear path. It used to be where you'd start up a SOC and then you move into cybersecurity. And if you didn't start at a SOC, or you didn't start in a position that specifically stated cybersecurity, you really didn't have a chance. You'd almost have to go take a step backwards before you went into it. But those linear paths are fading away. They're going away at record numbers. We're seeing people enter cybersecurity from IT, from auditing, from GRC, from data, from systems analysts, from system security, from compliance backgrounds. Cybersecurity has got a plethora of different faucets to it that you can kind of jump into this field. And I think that's really where AI has kind of opened the doors. This kind of caveat of going through and saying, oh, I need to have a bachelor's degree, and then I need to go get this, and I need to pick my niche early on. It's kind of disappearing when it comes to cybersecurity. It's becoming much more of that. Do I want to work with this person? Is your skill that you're transferring over better than what we would see from somebody that's just entering from a SOC? And for years, I used to say, look, if you're going into cybersecurity, hit the SOC first because it's going to give you a lot of valuable skills. And I still believe that. But I also think that we're really opening the floodgates when it comes to a lot of that transferable skills to get into cybersecurity.